All right. This is going to be a look at the Cooler Master MasterHUB. Not going to be a review per se. More of a exploration of it. Cooler Master was nice enough to send one over to me because of some of the charity stuff that I do. However, they're not sponsoring a video. In fact, they said I didn't have to make one. So I guess disclosure-wise, I received the product for free. However, that's where it ends. I'm going to be sort of loosely comparing it to what I use every day, which is Touch Portal. So I'm going to take a look at the two of those and see where one excels, where the other excels, and see what we get. So if you're unfamiliar with it, this is the web page on Cooler Master's website for the MasterHUB. And I have one in front of me. I have their creator bundle, I believe it is, which is a button panel similar to like a Stream Deck. It is a couple of rollers and 5 faders. So we'll take a look at that in a minute. They additionally have what looks like a jog wheel with a screen on it, and 3 knobs, rotating knobs. So those do not come with the creator bundle. They're available separately. They're like, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks a piece or something like that to add on. They do support more than one of these at once. Ooh, it's getting a little warm. That's interesting. So if you wanted to make a setup with 2 of these to have even more inputs, you definitely could. It comes with a USB to USB-C cable, right angle to straight. I'm not using that only because I have one USB-C cable and my capture card is currently plugged into it, and it's in the back of my machine, or one USB-C port. So I'm just using a regular USB A to C plugged into the front of my computer. Again, I'm just demoing this right now, so that wouldn't be where I leave it if I was going to leave it there permanently. Like I said, the creator bundle comes with a couple things. You have faders. Oh, I guess the important thing to say is, as I knock stuff off my desk, this is all modular. So if I change over to the camera here, it all comes apart. You can take this apart. You can replace things in different positions if you want. I can take the rollers off. I can take the buttons off. I could put the faders on the left, the buttons on the bottom, and this on top over here if I want, so you could reconfigure it. Once it reconnects, you can see it had a little waiting screen and it reconnects. I personally like the faders on the right, so I'm going to swap back to that just to make it easy. Also on the back, I know I have a black background, it doesn't really help, is a little magnetic kickstand. And there's a horizontal and vertical position for that, so you can place it horizontal or vertical. I believe they also, in their advertising, they show it on an arm. This doesn't explicitly have any points to like threads to thread an arm onto. I'm guessing that that's something that you have to get a little holder or something to sorry, it's the wrong scene. To do that, like I said, we're gonna look at some promo material, so we'll take a quick look. Here you can see this is their jog wheel, the screen. You can see their button grid. It's all customizable with different colors, different icons, stuff like that. 3 knobs. Interesting, it's not laid out in 4. I don't know if that's meant to be easier to grab with 3, maybe. You have some faders, and then you can see the kickstand and the roller. I don't know why they're showing the kickstand and the roller there. So this is what I saw it on an arm. It does look like it's a little arm that they have a little platform on. So it's not connected to the arm. It's resting on the arm in this case. Yeah, they got the wire routed up. Interestingly enough, it has 2 USB-C ports. One's labeled display port and one's not labeled. Looking into the port, it's a little hard to see, but it looks like the display port might have either more connections or be more shielded. Can't 100% tell. If I can figure out what that's for, I will figure it out. Maybe you could route your USB-C monitor through it and reduce the number of cables connected to your computer. I'm not 100% sure that that's the use case. That's my guess, reading that it says DisplayPort. But, yep, gamers, you can bind stuff to keys. That's, you know, and then their other bigger market is going to be editors. I wouldn't say video editors, but I guess, you know, artists. They do support, it looks like, Photoshop, Premiere, and then obviously you just have regular inputs. So like, you know, I can do scroll of the scaling and stuff like that. So you could just automatically do that if you bind it to the correct key. So, oh yeah, here you go. OBS, Streamlabs, Switch, Master Control, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, more to come. And then funny enough, to learn more about the software, you click here. It brings you to the same page. It's just the same exact thing. So, getting the software is a little bit weird. I had to go under software and find it in here. But that's it for their website. Like I said, I have the MasterHUB. No, I'm sorry. The Stream Kit. The MasterHUB is the whole thing. So the knobs, the scroll wheels, and the buttons. Here you can see they have it laid out more vertically, and each of the different options in there. Do they show what the base plate looks like without anything on it? And that's some of the software. They do. So this is what the base plate looks. Oops. Can I? How do I don't want to zoom. There we go. It's just a bunch of different keyed I guess I don't want to say fiducials, but like pokey bits and holes. Inside the holes are pogo pins. The pogo pins interact with little circles in the back. It's gonna be impossible to get them in focus on the back of the each device. So that one had 4. The scroll wheel has 4. They all have 4. So I wonder if it's just modified USB. I don't actually know. They are, to some degree, keyed, so you can't put them in certain ways. So, like, again, it's going to be impossible to really show this very easily, but, oops. These scroll wheels, if I rotate it 180 degrees and put it back on, it is not plugged in. There's a gap here. It is not plugged in properly. This only seats one way in that position. I don't know if that's in every position. I haven't really sat down and tried every single layout with this, but just my observation real quick. And well, it wasn't working before, but now I can show you. You can do the basically scrolling the what do you call it? They have a name for it. Let's see. Scaling. That's what it is. Which brings us to the software for it. So you need the software running, I believe, to use the device. This is the layout that comes with it as the default. I did try and add a couple things on some other pages. As you can see, as I push buttons on the device, it does update live on screen. I can change to a different desktop, change back. I guess I could open the File Explorer. Yep, it opened up on a different monitor. Sign out doesn't appear to be bound to anything right now. I'm not 100% sure what it signs you out of. I don't want to hit that because I don't want it to sign me out of like use OBS or something. And then, you know, you can hit Google to bring up, oops, I hit the timer. You can bring up Google to bring up Google, hit YouTube to bring up YouTube, you know, etc. Nothing too crazy on the default here. And And then what I did is I wanted to primarily use this with OBS, which is what I'm recording in. So you have to connect it via WebSocket. They give you step-by-step instructions. It's not anything too crazy. You literally open up the WebSocket controls in OBS, input the, it'll be local hosts unless it's a different computer. You know, if you're on the same computer, maybe local host, you put in your port, you put in your password, you hit test, it says, yep, good to go, and you're all set. And what I did differently was I bound all these faders to audio. So I believe if I do this, I can lower the volume. I can raise the volume of the music for me. And then I can also do that for any audio source that I bind it to. So like this is bound to Discord audio. This I have bound to desktop audio. This I have bound to my mic. This I have bound to the music, which is the music you're hearing. Unfortunately, did they change that? They might have changed that. OBS seems to put the audio in ABC order. So I kind of am a little bit bound to that, but I do have them reflect on there. And you know, you can turn the lighting off on the I pushed the button there. I want to push it on the device. You turn the lighting off on here, turn it on and off just in case, you know, and that's the backlight for the faders and all that. A little hard to see again. But you can see it fine in real life. You can customize the colors of everything. So if I go into here and I look at the range, not the range, what do I want? Do they not let you do that? They might not let you do that. Ah, okay, in the fader, I have to go over here. So you can have it do all these different things where it, you know, strobes or cycles, breathes. I'm not really a RGB kind of person. I don't really get... I have it all turned off on my machine except for... I think I had to install drivers to turn it off or something for my GPU or my motherboard, so I just let it do whatever, but I hate all that. But I just changed the color to green. It's green on the device. Not too bad. You have brightness control, which you have to hit OK for it to change. That's interesting. It doesn't look like it changes brightness at all. Oh, you know what? I wonder if that is because I have this. Yeah, okay. It's bound to the intensity of the slider. That's why. So, that interesting. They'd give you the brightness control. I guess maybe that's max brightness. Oh, I understand what's going on. Okay. So they have the brightness control works as you would expect. As you slide the fader left and right, it dims sections of it, and it kind of looks like it's fading out, but it's not. It's dimming sections of this fader. So that's what that is. That's why it's different. But and then you have the base. You have the base, the rim light around the outside. It updates in real time, so as I'm doing this, I could see it changing. I can change that to interesting. Can I add? Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's cool. So you can do this and pull in that same color just to make it match. Then whole kit. I see. Okay, so you can change it all. Again, a lot of these things I'm finding out as I look at them. So it's not something that I've prepared. So my thought was to try and recreate what I use via Touch Portal. And so I can pull up my Touch Portal page right here. This is what I use in Touch Portal. One of the annoyances I have in Touch Portal is this just blinks at me. Anyway, You can see I have this set up for how I like to stream. It does not show feedback in real time, whereas this, you can see me moving the volume. It does not update that in Touch Portal. When I change the volume, I can override via OBS, and so now the device is wrong, but as soon as I move, it snaps back. So, wow, music's already done. And I hit restart, and it is not playing the music for me. There it is. So yeah, I wanted to compare it to Touch Portal. The way I have it laid out right now is I have a couple different pages that I have set up. I have one for music. I have one for running an ad, just to ask me, are you sure? I have one for starting and stopping recording, stuff like that. And then the game desktop, BRB, RuneScape, outro are all different scenes in OBS for me. And then this starts a couple things. Basically, what this lets you do is if I open this button, you can set what happens when you push your button. So in this case, if I'm recording, I have it stop recording. I have it change the scene to my BRB scene. And then when I push it again, it starts recording after swapping back to the scene I was on, stuff like that. So a little bit more complicated than just pushing a button to go where I want to go. I also have a couple of little icons right here. Show whether I'm live or recording. In fact, let me do this real quick. This is a live feed from my iPad itself. And so you can see it's red because I'm recording. It's showing the little recording. If I push the button, I gotta push it on my actual iPad. It stops the recording, and then I hit the button again to record. If I hit my streaming button, it tells me all sorts of stats. So it tells me I'm recording. It's in red. It tells me I'm not live in green. I can hit start and stop to start and stop those, and I have a big home button to go home. Again, I have a music button to play some music, button to kill VLC. I don't even use that half the time. I have a button to turn my camera on and off, and it has the correct feedback. You can see on screen there, it says camera on, camera off. I can change from my desktop to a game, which in this case is my capture card, or an outro or a BRB, stuff like that. So just by pushing the buttons on the iPad. And again, I have control over my volume phone, which you can hear is going in and out. Desktop audio, I'm not doing anything with. Discord audio, I'm not doing anything with. And then my music audio, which is what is in the background here, as well as mute for all of those devices. And again, there's all feedback. It also shows me nice. That changes into Discord. So when I hit mute there, it mutes in Discord. When I change the volume there, it changes the volume, mute Discord, blah, blah, blah. Just to get a baseline idea of what I'm using Touch Portal for and how I'm using it. So if I turn off capture card and I shrink this, we'll come back to the MasterHUB. Let me just get the volume into a That's now, yeah, max is now 0. And then minimum is now negative 96, like it is reflected in OBS. So that's one thing I would probably want to do for... Can you not? Oh, you have to be in the box. Is that going to update my volume for everything? I don't know if it's going to change it because the position of the fader is different now. It does. Okay. Yeah. So you have to recompensate for that. That's fine. I'm cool. All right, just resetting it back to where it used to be. One thing I'm not a huge fan of as well with this fader is I don't have any way of knowing. There's no labels in the faders, so labels would be useful. Again, drawing a comparison to Touch Portal, I have them labeled up top and on the bottom, so I know which is which at a glance. There's no screen on this, so I don't see how you would do that. Again, I bound them in the same order that's in OBS just to help me remember that, but like I have an aux mic input that I have active that I don't have a fader for, so that's at the top. And then I have my capture card is in there as well, so that's on the bottom because this one's the capture card because it's not normally showing up in most scenes, so it's just it's a little confusing. Partly on my fault and partly not. Bert's here to come take a look. You gonna take a look, Bert? Bert's been licking some of his fur off, so he gets the cone of shame for now. He's gonna squirrel around on my lap for a few minutes. So like I showed earlier, one of the things I wanted to do was set up a status page of whether I'm streaming or live or not. You can see this is me recording. I guess there's a little animation that's playing. I don't know. It doesn't really give me. All right, yeah. So there's a little JPEG, PNG, or GIF that you can use. There's a library you can upload your own or reset. Frequently used are ones you frequently use. The fucking MP Cooler Master logo. Trying to see if I can find this specific one. I don't see that specific one. It does change when you're not recording. I don't know how I would explicitly show you that. I think it looks like this without the interior. And funny enough, the start, stop, record, it doesn't show it when you're recording. That's a little bit weird. I don't know if it's the same for going live. I'm not live right now, so I really can't test that. I don't want to set up a stream and do all that, so I don't want to. I guess you could do the background color. Yeah, it updated. There is no undo button. That would be interesting. That would be nice to see. Just because I don't know what blue matches the rest of the scheme. No. Fucking hell. There we go. So yeah, there's no, like, as far as I could tell, there's no direct, like, in Touch Portal, I can make a button that does nothing. I can put text in here. and save it. It's a button. It's right there. It's already pushed onto the device. So this is the device again. There it is. Text haha. If I push it, nothing happens. There's not even like, you can set it so it changes the icon, you know, like when you push buttons. I don't have anything set like that. It doesn't change anything, right? Yes, get out of here. I don't see a way of like you have a blank button, but because you can make a button with nothing on it in Touch Portal, I can make a button that only shows, you know, when when a stream starts, you know, change the text to live, change the color. When OBS is not streaming, or when streaming is not started, so when you're not streaming, say not live and put, you know, red on there, which is what I end up having. And it's like, I don't see a way of doing that in here. So there's no way to gather that feedback without having the button. And one of the things I like about Touch Portal is this is literally just feedback. It tells you if I'm streaming, not streaming. If you push it, it brings you back to this page. It doesn't do anything. You can have it do nothing. I just have it go back to this page. Whatever. If my cat comes and steps on my iPad while I'm streaming, if I accidentally fat finger and touch it, I'm not going to stop my stream. With this, or this recording, which I'm trying to keep the cat away from it right now, it's feedback and a button. And so if that button's pushed, like I'm going to push it, it's going to stop my, and then I restart the recording. So like, I can't gather that feedback. What are you doing, buddy? Just lay down. I can't gather that feedback in a stream safe way, or a fail safe way, or a way that will get me that information without toggling the information. You know what I mean? And even in the Twitch settings, I see create clip, open clip, stream markers, shield mode for chat, a bunch of chat options. There's no like live status. You know, all these things are actions with feedback. They're not just straight feedback. So that's something that me personally, I like having that feedback on here, so I can at least see if OBS is trying to stream, or if it's trying to record, stuff like that. Not something that you could do with this. Another thing that I noticed, why you would ever want to be able to create a new page with a button, I'm not sure, because it would make a blank page, but you can do that. There's an option to make a page, and if I hit make page, oh, there's page 4. Like, what is it? Doesn't do nothing. I guess if you're making a million pages, you can do that, but one thing I noticed is like, I can't navigate. You go to the next page, right? I don't see a way. Again, I don't know why I have 2 of these. I don't see a way to go like to page 3. So like in Touch Portal again, I have all these different pages that, you know, if I push ad break, it goes in here and asks me if I want to start an ad. And, you know, I have to run a 3-minute ad, and then I have to hit OK. Yes, I want to do it. It's a couple layers, right? But I can go back to the main page from there. If I go to, you know, the stream start, I can go back to the main page. I don't see a way to do that in here. So, like, if I want to go to page 3, I have to hit next to go to page 3. If I go into navigation, I can make a new folder, a new page, previous page, next page. There's no go-to page, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And I think if I copy this to page 2 and I put it right here, does this go to page 2? No. It's trying to go to page 0, I guess. So yeah, you can't even like copy and paste from different pages to go to certain pages that way, unfortunately. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Why does the repeat? The music keeps, I have it set to repeat the music, and YouTube keeps breaking. So that's one complaint I have. So I can't make a decision tree out of pages, if that makes sense. So like, you know, if you want to have a button that's stats that you hit, you go to the stats page, and then from there maybe there's an option to change your bitrate or change your, which I don't think you could do with this, or change, you know, whether you're live or not. You can't send that to a third page and have a tree's worth of options, whereas you can with Touch Portal. Again, that's a little bit more of the way I'm setting stuff up. That might not be something that everybody else is concerned with, but to set up this the way my workflow already goes, where I have multiple pages, you know, I have a music page, I have a start page, I have an ad break page, I have a page for Fusion 360, which I've never used, but I want to try. And then I have a page here for like Twitch stats and stuff like that. You can't do that without thumbing through, you know, going forward and back through the pages. I would like that there, please. So I can go back through and then go forward through. So that's one thing that was a little disappointing to see. It would be nice if there was an option to go to page 3. I think in here you can't even rename them, so they're just labeled as 1, 2, 3. Not the end of the world. It makes it easy for them to show down here, but why can't I have multiple pages that I can jump through in that same way, you know? So that was one thing I tried to do, is recreate my live stats and options page, which can't quite do the same way. The next one I wanted to try and recreate is changing scenes and stuff. And so if I go into OBS here, and if I go to scene, I can drag a couple different scenes. Options in here. And so I think I could set them all to be what I want. So again, just copying what I have on here. Game, and I could set it to game. And I can change the icon to, I don't know. Do they have a controller in here? I sure hope they do. Do they not have a controller? Did I miss it? They got a headset for mute and unmute. You can make your own controller and icon and put it in there. I generally don't. Oh, they do. Cool. And then desktop, and I'll send that to my desktop scene, and then oops, a BRB. I'll apply that to the BRB, and then choose, I don't know, I need like sleeping Z's or something. Eyeball closed, good enough for me. What else do I have? I have a RuneScape scene, just because I do something funky with the camera for that. Oh, which, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do that, and I'll show you how that works in a second here. I need a sword. Magic, we'll pretend. And outro scene for my outro. Sure. And I don't really have, I never go back to the intro after I started, so I guess I don't really need an intro scene, but I guess I could edit just for ease of use. Do that, and I could do this, just to reorder them. And then if I touch, there we go. That's the RuneScape scene. There's my game scene, which is currently my capture card. And then back to my desktop. Something that I can't do is assign multiple actions to a single button. So I have my RuneScape button over here set up to add a filter to my camera to make it circular. You can see if I move my arm around, it's a circle that fits into my mini map in RuneScape. I can't do that directly with one button, unfortunately. However, it does look like I have a filter button I can add. So if I go to my camera and we find the image mask blend and I change this, we'll leave that icon. I should be able to hit the RuneScape button and then the filter, and it will apply it. So you can get around it with multiple button presses. It would be nice if it allowed you to have multiple actions on one button. Again, just for comparison to this, if I hit my RuneScape, you can see turn for scene camera, which I have a master camera scene. The filter image mask blend on and set the scene for RuneScape. And then what I have is when the camera filter turns on, it changes the button to state to on. So if I do that right now, the button state turns to on. And then if I turn it off, it turns the button state to off. And what that allows me to do, this is gets a little complicated, but when I hit the game button, oh no, I just automatically set it to turn off if I go back to the game. Okay, that's so much easier. There are events and flows. You can see I don't actually store that value. I'm not using that. Oh, right. All right. Yeah. So I changed the way I did that button, but it doesn't matter. So on event, I shouldn't need either of these. You can set the button state to on or off, so it highlights RuneScape if I go to it. Let's see. If I have it set up to do that? I don't even have it set up to do that. No. So I think I was in the middle of either doing that or logging that the filter is on, so that when I go back to another with either the desktop or the game, it turns that mask off. But I don't even need to do that. But so that's another thing is you can't do in here. Like if I turn on the filter and I have the circle and I'm in RuneScape, I keep trying to click on the screen. If I go back to my desktop, it does not boot me out of that filter after the button again. So multiple button presses for what I can achieve in the other app. Again, not the end of the world if you're not using that, but just a consideration that I'm thinking through as I set this all up. One thing I have, like I showed before, are some stats about Twitch. I don't think I can do that here. So I can see there's a chat message. I'm assuming that I can send a message. Yeah, so I can add a button to send a message in chat. Might be useful if you have a chat that you often send that you don't want to put on a timer. Maybe something like if you don't want your Discord URL on a timer, you want to just give it out at certain times, you can do that. Or maybe you have an event that you do and you want to paste a link to join a queue and you don't want people joining on when you're not doing that, and you can have it set on there. Interesting. A button to clear chat. Useful if you're moderating or if you're, I don't have my Twitch account connected, so it's not going to let me do any of this. If you're not, it's useful if you're streaming and you don't want to tab out to, you can't hit the delete key to delete these? If you don't want to tab out to moderate the chat, you can hit that button to clear the chat. Same for followers chat, sub chat. I'm guessing those are toggles. Emote chat, again, I'm guessing that's a toggle. I can connect my Twitch account. Hang on a second. How do I do this? OBS Studio. I don't see third-party connections Twitch. Oh, I gotta log in Ugh. All right. Not doing that now. Why can't I just open in my regular browser? I don't know. Just open it up in a normal browser, bro. Let me put my fucking token in, dude. Anyway. I also don't like it collapses that. Shield mode again, play an ad. Does it give you an option for length? Yeah, duration. Yep. These are hardwired, interesting, or hard-coded. I don't know, maybe it's pulling that list down from Twitch via the API. Stream game title. Stream title. I guess it lets you type it in here. I guess that's useful if you... No data. Is that supposed to pull from active games on your computer? Or is that supposed to pull from Twitch's database? I guess it would make sense to pull from Twitch's database. So I guess if you play only like 2 or 3 games and you want to push a button to change the game title, or maybe you have one that you constantly go back to, maybe like if you do IRL between games or to start stream or whatever, that might be useful to use. Stream marker. I don't really use stream markers. It probably is useful if you're a bigger streamer and you wanna mark stuff. Only works when I can't read what it says. You're live. Well, that makes sense. So that's an option. Creating a clip. That's probably one of the more useful things. I don't have my account thing, but yeah, make a clip. Open last clip. I'm guessing that just opens it up in your browser. Yeah, I guess so. The Streamlabs have more. So Streamlabs actually has less options than OBS. So one thing that you can't pull from OBS is, or pull from Twitch is, viewer count, last chatter, stuff like that. Whereas in Touch Portal, let me make a new, page here. If I go to Twitch, let's see, there's actions and there's events, and then there's, no, just events. So on host, on raid, when you change slow mode on or off, new follower, new subscriber, new goals, new predictions, new polls. So you can use all these events to do certain things. So maybe when you make a new poll, you want it to change scenes. And so you could do on a new poll. You can't have it look at the press for an event. So maybe we want to make it so that when you make a new poll on Twitch, that you navigate to a certain scene. So you could do navigation, go to page. Yeah. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Delete. Yes, I want to go back to OBS. Set scene to your poll page that you already have set up with the URL, in OBS to show the poll on screen, or make that source visible, stuff like that. So you can do a whole bunch of that stuff in Touch Portal that you really can't do with MasterHUB. Looking at what's available on Twitch, we kind of went through those. If I go back to Touch Portal, the actions you can do on Twitch are send a message, which you could do on other one. Send a message to channel. So I believe you can send a message to a different channel. So if you wanted to post in, I don't know, I know some people will have like a VODs channel that they 24/7 stream VODs, and they have a real channel. Maybe you want to have it post in there on a button press. Obviously not when a poll begins. Maybe when your stream begins, you have it set, you know, you do, let's see. Can I poll? I guess I can't poll the status of my stream. But you could probably do, when you click on the go live with another button or something, you could have it send them to the Twitch channel based on events, stuff like that. Whispers, announcements, shout-outs, ads, raids, stream markers, again, own channel info into value. So you can pull info into a value. Again, we saw the values over here to show up in other places. You know, so you can have it set so that when a stream starts, you retrieve the game title and store it as a value, whatever. And then under YouTube, you change the stream title to that as well automatically. So there's a lot of if-then stuff you can kind of do. That actually gave me an idea. Maybe I'll set that up when I have a minute. Oh, here we go. Stream starter stopped. Retrieve the game title and store it. Right, and then I can go to... Do they even have YouTube in here? No, you'd have to get a third-party plugin. That's fine. But, you know, it's possible to do that kind of stuff. Or, you know, like we were saying before with Twitch, you know, retrieve. You could do send message to channel. You know, you put whatever, you could put your value in here. You know, I'm live playing blah, blah, blah on this channel, blah, blah, blah. You know, you could do that kind of stuff. Again, all stuff that you can't do with this right now. What's nice is this is all software, so they can add all that. You know what I mean? So, but enough with comparisons to Touch Portal. I just want to look at some of the other things. So, oh, multitask. Can you actually set a multitask? Oh, okay. Well, let me take some of that back. What if I go to scene, RuneScape, and then can I grab filter as well? Does that do what I want it to do? Oh, it does. Okay, so you can do, okay. All right, that changes things a little bit. So if I do this, right? Come on, and then I can edit this value to be, how many times have I done that already? The background to match. Change this to the wizard icon. Do that, we'll rename it. Like that, and then if I do... Wow, that is a little bit of a convoluted way to do that. Okay, so I can't drag pre-existing ones in. OBS Studio, if I go to scene, if I go to scene and I go to filter, oh, can I just do this? Copy, paste, and remove. Does this update the other one if I change it? Let's see. We're doing it live. I'm learning just as you are. Filter camera. So that's a toggle. That's not turn off. Interesting. So you would assume that you and it didn't toggle. Good. Well, now it's reversed. Hang on a second. Let me go here. Go back to my desktop. Did not. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. So it just toggles. So if I go to RuneScape, it does that. I go back, it does it. All right. You could conceivably set up your system to do this. It would be nice if there was more finite control, I guess. Like the filter, you can just toggle it. Let me set a state. Let me set a state as active or inactive. You know what I mean? Because right now, if I hit my desktop button when I'm on the desktop, it toggles that state of the camera. You know, if I'm over here, it toggles the state of that mask. You can do what you want. But I would have to do that for the game too, because if I'm going from RuneScape to a game, I would want it to toggle appropriately and all that. So, all right, I take part of that back. It's possible to do what they're calling multitask. Again, it needs a little bit more refinement in my opinion. Lighting effect lets you change some of the lightings of the system. So if I do this and I hit that, it's setting. Oh, it's just blinking. You don't even get to choose how fast it strobes. Okay, well, profile. So you can have multiple profiles in this. I don't think I'm signed in to a profile, so I don't know if it's gonna do anything. Yeah, I guess it's what you would make a profile here. I wonder with different profiles. Oh, those are like pre-made. So you can store your there's no second page. I'm hitting the next page button. So you can store pre-made stuff. So they have a pre-made Photoshop one in here. So if I go here, you have all these different things. I see. So I guess you could if I do profile and I choose Photoshop, let's see how clunky it is to change. It takes a second, but it's not the end of the world. If this is shrunken to my taskbar, does it still do it? It does. Yeah. All right. We're learning, so I'm going to take back how you can't do like a decision tree. If you wanted to make profiles for every single tree option, you could do that. That's conceivably a way to do that. Again, maybe a little clunkier than it needs to be, but it is possible to do. Brightness, I'm not going to fool around with. Timer, I have a timer. Goodbye, Bert. I have a timer here that, again, this is part of the default one. I'm going to change it to 10 seconds just to push the button. You can see it has a countdown. I unfortunately can't seem to zoom in any further than this. I don't know why. With, I guess it has to do with the screen size. It made a little tinkle noise there. Yeah, if I put it on my vertical monitor, I have no way of showing this to you, but it's like the UI gets a little squirrely. It makes a little tinkle noise. All right, I could see how that could be interesting. Zoom interface. Which interface is it zooming? Scale in or scale out? Is that how do you need a button to do that? Scrolling doesn't do that. Yeah, you can't do control scroll or... Oh, the custom scaling does work, though. Does it? Oh, it's trying. Oh, I can't get it to custom scale back, though. All right, so this is a stupid fucking bug. So I have the custom scaling on here, right? That's again the default they put on the scroll wheel. I can't zoom in, but I can zoom out. So I'm trying to zoom in, it's not working. I can zoom out. Once I zoom out to a certain point, it doesn't let you zoom out any further. So I don't know if I broke the zoom or scroll up, scale in. Oh, that's so weird. That works. Is this overriding it? It's not. It does not scale. It does not zoom in. Why? Is my wheel broken? What if I reverse these? No, I can't zoom in still. Why is zoom in broken? Oh, I gotta do it on the device. I have it bound to this button, so I'm able to zoom in, but why? I wish I had known that before I started making this video. All right, that's it. Navigations. This is navigating around this screen. If you have new page, new folder. What does a new folder do? New folder? But how do I go back? Oh, can you, is that how you nest things? Oh, why would they make it that way? Oh, so they have pages and folders. Oh, all right. Learning more about this as I go on. All right, so yeah, you could make some decision tree type things by nest. Can you nest folders? Where was that? No, when you're in there, the navigation option disappears. So you can't nest folders. All right, so you can only limited do what I kind of wanted to do. Again, create new page. Why do you need to make a new page? It looks like you have a max of 4 pages anyway. I don't know. I don't know. System is going to be your computer. So undo, redo is basically just Control Z and Control Y. I guess it must be a toggle. Can I undo the placement of this? No, I can't. No, you can't. Switch desktop. Again, that was on this page, so I can go desktop left. I don't have left. Desktop right. You can scroll through them. I don't know how that shows up in OBS. It zooms the screens left and right for me when I move them. That's a Windows feature. I don't use it. Media fast forward and backwards. I don't know if that is just like shuttle control on your media controls on your keyboard. Oh, you got to choose. All right, so you can only choose from the ones I have: Power DVD, WinDVD, DivX player, GOM media player, media player classic, pot player, cam player, VLC. I could do VLC, and I'm not going to try and play something, but I'll trust that works. I'm guessing it's just skip ahead. Media track control, again, next back. Volume control, again, it's going to be like your buttons on your keyboard or whatever. Play, screen capture. Unfortunately, this seems to open the Windows dialog for the screen capture. It would be nice if you can customize it. You probably can't see it because it is, you know, an overlay. I would like to use my my personal screen capture software of choice, but you know, it activates the Windows one. Again, custom scaling, scroll up and down. The scroll wheel lets you scroll up and down. I'm doing that now with my mouse wheel, but with the scroll up down wheel on here. There's a little bit of a delay. Oh, you know what it is? It's queuing up the actions. Because you can scroll faster with the wheel than it goes, whatever. It buffers it. Web URL, I'm assuming that this is just to add a URL to go somewhere. That's how they did the Google and YouTube buttons, which I pressed, but are open in a different tab because I'm playing music in a different tab. App files, I'm assuming that's open. Open a application file. So if I go in here and I find, I don't know. Oop. That was when I restored my system after it broke. I go down here and find, oh, with links, shortcuts. Oh, I find, let's see what happens. Oh, I don't want it. If I open a picture, what happens? It opens the picture. Very good. Let me get rid of that serial number. Didn't intend on doing any editing, but that's okay. We will do some editing now. Text. What does text do? Is it literally just enter the word text if I... Yep, it just types letters. Very, very cool. Key actions. I'm guessing this is... You can push multiple keys. Key or a macro. So observing, if I do Control-Shift-4, I do OK. And then I do Control-Shift-4. Yep, it pulls up my screenshot software, which is what I want to use. So that's one way you could do a custom screenshot if you have a different app. And that's it for system. OBS, kind of what you would expect to see. It's nice. Again, Touch Portal has some more options that you could do on events to trigger other things. This doesn't have it. Twitch Master Control. So this is if you have your Cooler Master Control, I believe that lets you change, I guess, the RGB settings of your Cooler Master devices. Scene looks like it might be for any screens. Maybe if you have one of those AIOs that have a screen on it, maybe. I don't know. I guess I can look and see. Yeah, it's not connected, so it won't pull any data in. And then cooling profile, I guess if you want to have, again, your AIO go into high speed or something. I don't have Streamlabs. It looks like there's a good amount of stuff for Photoshop. I don't use Photoshop or Illustrator. What's going on, Bert? You're not allowed up here while I'm streaming. I don't use Photoshop. I use GIMP, so well, I would have to do custom keybinds for GIMP based off of the keybinds that they have. I don't use Illustrator. And then Premiere. What do they have for Premiere? So you can save, open files, open projects, edit, ripple edit, blah, 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 markers, go to, yeah, all right. I mean, I'm not a huge Power Premiere user, so I don't really have data on what's, you know, missing from that. A lot of the stuff I think you're gonna rely on using keybinds. Again, I don't know how it works if you have like knobs. I have the scroll wheels. I guess, can I bind the scroll wheel to... Like, how would I bind a scroll wheel to, like, zoom on I guess, I don't know. I don't know. Individual app volume control. It's nice to see. Although it says system volume, I technically have like 6 or 8 different devices that could output, that are outputting, you know, like my music goes out one device, my desktop goes out another, my mic goes out another. So that's, you know, a little limiting on that, but, yeah, I don't know. So overall, I think it's a handy device if you don't have anything. It's nice that you buy it and you have it. I mean, again, drawing comparisons to Touch Portal because that's what I have and that's what I use. I needed an iPad to use it. I mean, I had one that I could use it for, but like, you don't just like use Touch Portal. You need an extra device, and that could be your phone. They do offer a free trial if you're interested in checking that out, that you could put the app on your phone and have a limited grid size and all that. I bought it because I wanted some extra features. And again, there's extra stuff that you can do in Touch Portal. I just want to delete this page. They have a whole like ecosystem that you can go through, a marketplace. Some of the stuff is free, some of the stuff is not, it's paid. But you know, like here's a Photoshop. I just want to look at it. Can I not look at it? They have pre-made pages for stuff like Photoshop. I'm sure you could find something in here. They have plugins that you could put in if you wanna auto hotkey or pull up a, you know, do a calculator, or I guess you can change your colors. You know, I have all these different plugins. It's a little bit more maturity than the Cooler Master. It doesn't look like Cooler Master has any of that at this moment. Again, that would be a cool thing to see, is to be able to allow third parties to develop stuff. I mean, look at what people do on the Stream Deck. You have people setting it up to be able to play games on it or display stuff on it. And again, you know, if I go to if I go here and I hit this button, obviously I'm not streaming, but I have all these things I can do right now. You know, where I have it shows chat on the left, it shows stats on the right or something like that. Like it does more than just button toggle, I guess is my comparison between the two. I don't know. I can only compare to what I know, so it would be nice to see some maturity in this app as it grows up. It would be cool if there was support for custom interfaces as well. You know, I've got the faders here. They're linear faders like this. What's stopping me from adding I don't know, just a turn key, like, you know, where you got to put the key in and turn it, or I don't know. I'm just trying to think of things that would be actually useful, you know, or interesting. What's stopping somebody from making a joystick that you can plug in, or a little speaker, or a scale, or something that, you know, can read how fast your heart's beating if you put your thumb on it, or, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see any way that it says that you can make your own device to add to it. Like, I didn't even plug in the faders correctly. There we go. I don't see a way of adding your own peripherals or anything to it. So I don't know how. I think it would be nice to have that as an option for people to experiment with. The fucking faders they're not working. What are we doing, guys? There we go. It snapped in right in this time. So I don't know. I guess my conclusion is that it's cool for what it is. I would like to see some more maturity in the app. Again, drawing comparison to Touch Portal, they've had years to work on this. I've been using that for several years. So people ask for features and they add it. This is relatively new, so I can't fault it for having or not having certain features. I think maybe what I am a little curious or confused about is there's already solutions in the field doing similar things. Why are some of the basic things not included in that? Like, you know, events or you know, you can make it so that the both the Stream Deck and Touch Portal can report back numeric values for, you know, viewer count, CPU temperature, you know, volume, all sorts of things. So it would be cool to be able to see some sort of feedback on the buttons that is dynamic instead of just toggle on and off. I don't know. This turned into a ramble. If you found it interesting or have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'll see if I can answer them. I may try and use this as a supplement to Touch Portal. If I can get it mounted somewhere, maybe underneath my monitor, that might be useful to have the buttons. I don't think I quite like the faders for controlling OBS audio. And for what I do, unfortunately, these guys are not really super useful. This scaling might be nice, but if I'm browsing the, you know, when I'm showing something on the web, it might be nice to have, you know, so I can zoom out, zoom in, whatever. It might be nice to have that as an option. However, I'm so used to just holding control and scrolling the mouse wheel that I'm not even going to think twice about doing that. You know what I mean? Or the scroll wheels might be a little bit more useful if they had they were also a button, so I can push in on them to get like a neutral value, like to reset the scaling in Firefox or whatever. I don't know. Just trying to think of ways it can supplement my use of controls. Maybe I'll see if I can find like they have a pre-made setup for Photoshop. Maybe I'll see if I can find one for Premiere, or realistically I use After Effects more, but let's see how that works out. I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna hit the outro button here. Thank you for checking this out, sitting through my ramble. I feel like I'm coming away from this a bit negative. I think this is a cool product. I think if you don't have a solution and you get this, you won't be disappointed. I think it'll do what you want, for the most part. I just think, having been using what I use already, it's not as powerful in the same way that I've grown accustomed to using it, if that makes sense. So anyway, thank you for watching. I'm gonna find the record stop button and give it a hit. I hope you have a good time, and I'll see you later.